Here we have the cell membrane. In the cell membrane, there are a few things that can happen. We have passive transport and active transport that I'm going to be showing. With passive transport, diffusion is the action of particles being moved from the inside to the outside or from the outside to the inside of the cell from high sources to low sources in order to even everything out. If you look closely, we have 6 particles on the outside and 4 particles on the inside. In diffusion, we would have particles moving through the channel protein into the cell. And it would keep going until they're even. That's diffusion. Osmosis is like diffusion, however, it is specifically with the particles of water, not just any particles. Facilitated diffusion is when certain molecules are allowed to enter or leave the cell with the help of a carrier protein. Facilitated diffusion. Like regular diffusion, but facilitated with a protein. Only certain molecules can pass by via their shape. So, let's say this were to try to pass into the other side. The carrier protein would recognize it and allow it through, but it wouldn't allow any other molecules. It would then move, and this molecule would be transported to the outside. Or it could happen in the other direction and be passed inside. Now we move on to active transport with the sodium-potassium pump. The sodium-potassium pump allows sodium to pass through at the cost of ATP. Once sodium has been transported into the pump, it would then be closed through the use of the ATP and then allow sodium to pass through to the outside. While this is open, this leaves a good opening for potassium to come in, and then it reverts back to its original shape. Then the potassium is then released onto the other side. That's the sodium-potassium pump. Exocytosis is another form of active transport. How this works is in exocytosis, a group of particles, or one central very large molecule, is transported to the outside of the cell. I'm going to show this. I'm guessing that we all already know what the plasma membrane looks like, so I'm not even going to bother showing you. I'm just going to represent it with this. Anyway, a group of particles approaches the cell membrane. A pouch of the cell membrane is then formed around it to ensure that no particles that are unwanted can get inside the cell. It is then released once a gap is created, and it is then transported to the outside of the cell. Endocytosis is a lot like exocytosis, except in this it is a group of molecules or one central large molecule getting transported through the cell membrane. It is then closed, the cell membrane that is, behind it, and it is pinched off, and eventually the cell membrane around this group falls away, and the particle or group of particles is now inside the cell.